let's get started with all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. And on the technical side, we are now joined by Sameet Chavan, Head of Research, Technical and Derivative at Angel One. And from the research desk, Kanishka, as always, is also joining us. Sameet and Kanishka, thanks so much for joining us. But let's get started then. Suzlon, that's the first stock on our radar this afternoon, where Motilal Oswal has come out with a report. In fact, they are reiterating their buy stance in the stock with a target price of 80 rupees per share. They say they continue to believe that Suzlon remains well placed to benefit from favorable policy tailwinds, localized supply chain advantage, in-house research and development team, and execution readiness versus global and several domestic players as well. They're very bullish when it comes to Suzlon's export opportunity as well. They say that the company is preparing to enter international markets with export orders which are expected to begin by the end of fiscal year 2026, and the supply is likely to commence in FY27. Initial focus markets will be Middle East and Europe, and US remains uncertain amid ongoing tariff-related challenges. So Motilal Oswal clearly is very bullish. They're reiterating their buy stance. 80 is the target price, and the stock is holding up with gains of 2% on the back of this report.
All right, that's Suzlon Energy in focus on the back of that news flow. But Sameet, you've picked out Bajaj Auto on the charts for us. Strong numbers coming in for Bajaj Auto. And remember, two-wheelers and tractor sales have beaten the street estimates, and Bajaj Auto is trading up and away in trade today. In fact, that's up and away almost 3.5% in today's trading session. But do you see this traction to continue? It's up 11% in the last few weeks as well. Do you see the positive momentum to continue on Bajaj Auto?
Good afternoon. Yes, certainly looks like. In fact, since morning we are seeing good traction in some of the heavyweight counters. IT, started the move for our benchmark index, and now since last couple of hours we have been seeing good buying interest across the auto space, and two-wheeler space has been buzzing. So Bajaj Auto is the one stock that has clearly confirmed a bullish flag pattern breakout on daily time frame charts, and as a disclosure, we have recommended this to our clients through call options as well. Overall, if you see, the stock seems to have come out of its long slumber phase, multi-month slumber phase, and it is now challenging its resistance zone of 89,69,000. Considering the overall price and volume activity, we expect the breakout to happen beyond 9,000 as well. And probably next couple of weeks' time, this stock is likely to head towards 9,500 plus levels.
All right, moving on from Bajaj Auto to the next counter that is in focus, and that's delivery. Now, Incred has come out with a note. They are reinitiating a coverage. They're maintaining a reduced rating with a target price of 300 rupees. They feel that there are headwinds on the horizon for e-commerce express. Now, e-commerce exposition may be a damp squib, and the FY26 forward to FY27 forward. Now, delivery is likely to be hamstringed by the foray into the 3PL by Amazon and Flipkart, and the marginal operating leverage that was witnessed over FY20 to 25, and the recent performance has been rather insipid for delivery. They also are estimating a 12% service EBITDA margin in FY26 forward, and a 500 basis points rise over FY26 and FY28 estimates. Now, they also expect 170 bits of EBITDA margin, and also they consider an 18x EV EBITDA exit multiple on FY31 forward EBITDA, and the upside risk is higher than expected margin. And on the back of that, therefore, they're maintaining a reduced call, even though we see some buying coming in from the lowest point of the day for delivery. That counter has picked up and it's trading with gains of 1.2%.
Okay, so that's delivery for you. The stock is up nearly 1.5%, but Granules India, this stock clearly is on fire today. In fact, the stock is up over 5% as we speak. Sameet, what do technical indicators suggest for this counter?
See, overall, if you see, recently this stock has been one of the underperforming stocks within the pharma space, but it seems that since last couple of trading sessions, the move seems to have started on Friday itself with a massive upsurge, along with robust volumes. And today, clearly, we are seeing a follow-up buying interest in this counter, and the stock has already challenged its 200-day simple moving average. The kind of price and volume activity that we have been witnessing since last couple of sessions, it seems that the stock is likely to move higher from current levels, and this move is likely to extend towards say 560, 565 over the next few trading sessions. On the lower side now, there's a strong base which can be seen around 440, 450 odd levels.
Then Manappuram Finance, that stock is up nearly 4.5% today at 273. Sameet, what do technical charts indicate for this counter?
See, overall, if you see, this stock has been buzzing since last few months. Recently, we saw some consolidation followed by a massive rally from the levels of 140, 145. Today, since morning, we are seeing good traction in this counter, and the stock is now challenging its recent, important resistance in zone of 275. So once we see a breakout happening from this important resistance, this stock would come out of its consolidation phase and then probably head toward 290, 295. Overall, yes, the chart structure looks quite promising. On the lower side now, 260 followed by 250 would act as a very strong support.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Manappuram Finance, but also let's put the spotlight on Hindustan Zinc because of the kind of upmove that we are seeing in global silver prices. Remember, silver prices on COMEX have risen to the highest level that we have seen in the last 14 years, at the highest level since 2011. In fact, silver prices have now broken past that $40 per ounce mark. Several factors aiding the move. One, of course, is the surge in safe haven demand, which seems to be resuming in the global market. And Federal Reserve is largely expected to cut rates in the month of September. And remember, any kind of rate cut is a positive for lower yielding assets like gold and silver. And Hindustan Zinc generates nearly 20% of their revenue from silver sales. And hence, any kind of uptick that we see in silver prices is always a positive for Hindustan Zinc. And hence, the stock is sitting with gains of nearly 4% today on the back of rising silver prices in the global market.
All right, Hindustan Zinc on the back of silver prices hitting record high. But coming to you then, Sameet, you have picked out Dixon Tech for us. Tell us, what do you see on the charts for Dixon Tech? Just today in trade, it's up in a way more than 4.5%. Do you see this momentum to continue? It has been a clear outperformer even in the last 6 months. Do you see this momentum to continue?
Certainly, yes. Stock prices, have been moving upwards since last few weeks gradually, and today the stock, prices have already taken off, and it has now confirmed its breakout from its, important neckline level of 17,000. If you look at the RSI, momentum oscillator, it is positively poised, and hence we will not be surprised to see this stock, heading towards its 2024 highs of 19,000 in probably next 1.5 months time. So overall, yes, chart structure looks quite promising. Any decline is likely to be reported.
Any decline is likely to be bought into. That's the word coming in on Dixon Tech. But let's also put the spotlight on the power sector then. Torrent Power. Kanishka, what's the news flow here? The stock has given up all of its morning gains though.
Absolutely. So Torrent Power is in the spotlight today because the company has announced plans to develop 1600 megawatt coal-based ultra supercritical thermal power project in Madhya Pradesh. So this project, with the investment of 22,000 crore rupees, will supply power to state discoms under a 25-year PPA that would create nearly 10,000 jobs. Now, with this, Torrent's total generation capacity will expand to about 9.6 gigawatt. So that's further strengthening its position in the power sector. And that's the reason why this stock is in focus. It has given up the earlier gains, but still continuing to trade above the more than 2% higher.
Okay, so that's Torrent Power for you. The stock is up 2%, but let's also put the spotlight on CMS Info Systems now. And this is on the back of some order inflows that have come in for the company, where they've secured a significant contract from the India Post Payments Bank. And this is to replace their fleet of 1,000 ATMs and cash dispensers. Remember, this is a move that comes in the wake of bankruptcy of former ATM service provider AGS Transact Technologies. So on the back of news of their bankruptcy, they've got this new order win to replace about 1,000 ATMs. So CMS Info Systems on the back of order wins is surging nearly 1.5% today.
All right, moving on to the next counter that you picked out for us, Sameet, Pidilite Industries. That stock is also trading with gains of 2+% today. 16% uptick in the last 6 odd months. What do you see on the charts for this particular counter? Do you see this heading towards its 52-week high?
It's a slow mover, and it has an interesting chart structure. In last couple of months, in fact 3 months, the stock has been oscillating within the boundaries of 3150 on the higher side and lower side 2800, and it's been nearly 5 to 6 times before the stock challenged its resistance zone of 3150, and from there it saw some sort of supply happening. But with today's price action, and if you look at the volume activity, it has risen substantially. It provides some sort of credence to the move, and hence will not be surprised to see the breakout finally happening in this leg of the rally. And hence, once the stock surpasses 3150, which we expect it to happen in next couple of days time, this stock can head towards 3250 first, and then probably towards 3300, 3330. So overall, yes, chart structure looks encouraging, and it's at a breakout point. We expect it to happen in next couple of days.
All right, moving on to the next counter that is in focus today. The realty stocks are in focus. In fact, Soba, Brigade and Prestige, all of them are in focus on the back of the fact that Karnataka government has doubled property registration fees to 2% from an earlier 1%, and it's a negative that's coming in for these specific developers that are based out of Bangalore, especially Soba, Brigade and Prestige. Another news flow that's coming on Brigade Enterprise is the fact that Uniqlo is celebrating the opening of its first store in Bangalore, and that's on the back of that, it is by Brigade Enterprise, and on the back of that, Brigade Enterprise is also in focus on the back of that.
So the entire real estate sector buzzing on the back of this hike that has come through. But Sameet, you've also picked up L&T Finance for us at 224, an uptick of about 2.5 to 3% today. Where do you see the stock headed? 300 on the annual, is it?
Looks like will not be surprised to see this happening. But 300 is still far away, but at least in the near term, 240 to 45 is clearly on cards, and this has been one of the outperforming stocks within the NBFC space. We can see a series of higher lows on daily time frame charts, and since last 3 months, this stock has been buzzing. It's clearly on a roll. And with today's price action, it has confirmed a bullish flag breakout. And with this, as I said, 240, 245, these are the next important levels to watch out for.
All right, that was the last talk for the day. Sameet and Kanishka, thank you so much